Hello, everyone. Welcome again to DM Podcast with Mick and Mark, episode 14. So, as we know, we talk about the previous week's news of taxi and Uber related news on dmnews.co.uk. It's a brand new news related blog. Go check it out, give it a little follow. And yeah, this is broadcasted on YouTube, Spotify, all the streaming software on TikTok, clips on TikTok, YouTube, and all that jazz. And we just got a few little subjects to talk about this week. And yeah, just see what's happening, really. Same as always, pretty chill, pretty laid back, and we just have a little gab, a little catch up, really, a little laugh, and just break up our own day. So today, I went out and done a little bit of poobing in the morning, and then I went head to head with Mark, which was Uber Liverpool versus Uber Sheffield, and then
No
that's going live
spoilers.
next week. No spoilers.
No
Do you want spoilers or
spoilers.
no spoilers?
No
Why do you want
spoilers.
spoilers?
I've already
Or not?
watched it.
Have you watched it? Oh yeah, because it goes live, members only, by the way. But so members get early access to all my videos, and then they get scheduled up then a week or two in advance. So this video's not going live till next Friday. This is being filmed on Wednesday, so a week Friday. But all the members have watched it and had a good laugh, haven't they? But yes, so that is my day now. I've got the rest of the podcast to do today, school run, and then all the other editing and everything else. So let's go over to. I'm going to go to Mick today. Mick, what have you been up to today, kiddo?
I've been out all morning. Just got home. So I had I'll start from last night because that's pretty much when I think my shift started. It feels like it started. 10 o'clock land. Went back to Fazachley area. Got back home about midnight. And then I was up at 4 a.m. JLA. Back home another 2 hours, kip on the couch. Done the school run. 9:30 out to Manchester. Came back, driving lesson. And then home for the podcast.
Shocker. And then you got to get the kids from school.
And then get the kids from school. And then she goes to dance as well, 5:30 to 7:30.
And you got to take her to dance as well.
Take her to dance, bring her back. And then I'm up at 4:30 in the morning.
So no time for flying.
I might get a flight in while she's in dance. That's about it.
But the fact that Mark's doing this, right? We've been talking, right? Listen, me, Mick, and Mark, we all try. I'm quite flexible because they're doing me the favour to come on here. So I'm quite. I literally say, let you two organise when you can come on the podcast, and then I'll just work around yous and to film it. And we've absolutely had a struggle to get the podcast done because of Mark is one greedy son of a bee. No, he loves it though. Very busy, Mark. So what have you been up to today, lads?
This morning to airport, back to Max, and then I got back about 5:30. And I thought, do I start an Uber? And I thought, no. Went back to bed for a couple of hours. Got up, and then went head to head with you, Matty. And then
No spoilers.
but I'm off now till Friday morning. I'm off tomorrow, but I'm going to do a bit of Uber, so don't worry about that.
Hey, classic Mark. I'm off today. You've got no airport break, so I'm going to go out on Uber. The day off. Watch your film, Mark. Enjoy yourself. Put your feet up. Do you know what I mean?
Wife will be at home, so get out of her.
Do you have a Netflix subscription? I bet you don't, do you?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
That's a waste of money,
watch
then.
it.
I do on the iPad when I'm waiting for jobs.
Flipping crafty, you mate. Fair play, fair play. Because while we're all talking about Uber, right? There's a lot of the lads, in our WhatsApp group is going mad. And to be honest, I've noticed it. I've the past 2 weeks, I've been a bit quiet on privates. So I've been doing a bit more Uber, topping up my weekend now. And, mate, the rates, especially if you work at dead hours and it's very, very quiet, isn't it? It feels like when it's quiet and the demand's quite like low for work or there's too many drivers, the rates are so low. Like I was getting like a 9 mile job for 10 quid or whatever, and I had one the other day, and it was a 10 mile job. Uber paid me 11, and he charged the customer 20, and it was during the dead hours as they're quiet up the motorway. But have you noticed the same, Mark, in Sheffield? Is your rate quite bad, or is it just northwest?
No, it is bad. Like I was saying, I don't do it very often, but the jobs that I do, they're very, very close now to £1 a mile. Very, very close. But then sometimes I've actually, like today, this morning, I actually did do less than £1 a mile, but that's including pulling as well. That was true.
Oh, yeah.
That was my own fault though, because when I dropped off, I was in the middle of basically a traffic jam because of the weather. So a job came out about 6 mile away, 6-7 mile away, and I thought it's going to take me out for me to come back in. So I thought I'd do that, and it worked out. I think I got paid £13 for that, and I think I did about 15 mile in total. So it were less than £1 a mile.
In Liverpool, if you include running for the mile, running for the job, more or less every single job's under £1 a mile now. If you include that, like, how about yourself, Mickey? You missing Uber, lad? The way things are going, or you happy
Not
just doing your
going on
privates?
No, not what I'm listening to and see what in that group. Don't miss it at all.
So
Well,
have you got online lately, Mick, or even had the dabble?
No.
Like, not even like waiting at the airport, or like just hanging about, or like really kids and dance or whatever, like a little hour or something like that. No, even
No.
not popping off.
It doesn't entice me at all. Not none there. Literally says to me, and it's getting worse. XL, exec, XXL, whatever you want to call it. Basically, executive XL has come in, and that's probably killed the market for all XLs. And that used to be a nice little cream earner. Used to go out and do thingies, but I've got more chance. I've got an absolute. I'm 90% certain that people are picking that up, seeing exec XL and XL and going exec.
Because you're thinking about it, it's literally a couple of quid more. Don't think it's massively more expensive, is it?
It's not massive.
And you guarantee
it's massively more.
Class.
I don't think there's where's the benefit of getting an XL when it's. I don't know. I don't know if the prices are extremely more. I do not know, but I just feel I reckon that's going to kill the XL market completely.
People have got exec XL vehicles. Are they really want to be doing XL jobs? Because I don't know. Because don't you still get people turning up with like 4 carry bags?
Well, they're going to do. They're going to be doing it over anything else, aren't they? They're not going to be taking them Uber X's.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Because if you think about it, Mark, even if you're in the V class, you're never going to have private work week in, week out. You never are. There's always quiet times.
That's what I mean. Saying if I'm driving around in a V class, I don't want to be doing them XL jobs. You know, I know they're not XL, but someone's
booking. Don't want to be doing Uber, really.
XL. Well, now, but they are, aren't they? We know that.
Yeah, but they've got to, haven't they?
Yeah.
The problem you've got as well, because Mick.
If they're on, they're going to take it, aren't they? They're going to take them over anything else, aren't they? If they're thingy, and because I'm in a Reynolds traffic, which really I think will pass. It's not an executive V class, but it's an 8-seater. And what's the requirements of being an exec? Have you got to have shirt and tie on? Have you got to? I don't know.
No. It's just a Vito or V class. That's it, Vito or V class. But what I don't get is the fact that you're pooled in now with the Ford Galaxy and the Safaras and the normal XLs, aren't you? The little Toyota flipping.
Yeah.
So the little Prius hybrids,
even the Tornados.
Yeah, you're all pooled in with them, and now the exec XLs have got the big boy buses on their own. I just never understood why they never done Uber XL, Uber XL, XXL, which is for you and the Tornados, and then maybe done exec XXL as well. Do you know what I mean? But at the moment now, if anyone needs 7 passengers or a bit of boot space, they're going to go for the exec XL because that can go up to 7 passengers.
And I'll fit a V class in my boot. Do you know what I mean? Makes no sense, does it?
Crazy. Do you know what I mean? But the same again, you know, you're talking about that. I'm waiting, like really waiting for Uber Green. So I went to Dublin on Sunday and I had a choice of Uber Green or Uber Taxi, right? Which is their Uber X. And Uber Green is the same price as Uber X. But you can guarantee if you book an Uber Green, you're going to get a nice new electric car, aren't you? Or newest car instead of like an old banger or whatever. So like the fact that Uber Green is the same price, I can't wait till Uber Green comes to Liverpool because then at least I'll have my own little thing as well, being in a Tesla.
Is it only down in London? That it is, isn't it?
At the moment, mate, yeah.
Yeah.
Do me a favour, Mark, move your mic slightly closer for us, please, mate, just so I can hear a little bit better.
Oh.
But yeah, I think you are right, Mick, Mark, about the XL. I think it's definitely.
I don't know. I don't turn Uber on, but there is times to come November and December, the private work just plummets, even for us as standard. You know what I mean? So there is times where I am going to have to go out and switch it on, but I am this close to going to Alpha.
Well, I've heard Alpha's bus rates are really good.
Well,
Like, very good.
It's not even for the bus rates, Matty. To be totally honest, because you get as far as I've always worked Alpha, and I don't know whether it's true. It could be totally wrong, but they don't have as much bus work as Uber has ever had, and for a firm to be that big as Alpha, they should have more bus work. And I don't know. I don't know whether it's the operators know who to turn to go with the buses. Maybe that's the case. They know the people who are there. But when you're new on the scene, or you've just come on and you don't know that you're an 8-seater, a 7-seater, or whatever, it seems to be dry for bus work. But I'll be going to Alpha to do the car work at better price. That's the only reason, because in Uber X's now, the prices that I've seen on them, there's no way I'd be moving an 8-seater bus round for them prices.
I spoke to one of the lads who does Alpha, right? And after Alpha's 25% part-time commission, don't forget it drops down to around 10, 12 when you do full-time with them, because the cap commission. But once you do hit the 25%, taking off Alpha's 25% part-time commission is still leaving you more than Uber's, because they're taking so much off the driver now. Do you know what I mean? So if you do five mile on Uber or 5 mile on Alpha, what they are saying in the WhatsApp group anyway, that the Alpha drivers are being left with more, because obviously you get the tips as well, but it's more because they're 25%, where Uber's now sometimes like 45, 50.
That's what I mean.
So
it's the 25% is thingy. The only thing is Alpha need. Maybe if you're full time on it, it's better. But they need to try and. There's a market there to get to pull Uber drivers. I'm telling you, there really is. But they need something more sufficient of paying the settle. The reason Uber is so big is you get the money, it's yours. You don't have to worry about paying anyone. You get a driver sheet off Alpha, and it says, right, you've got to pay this.
You see all the money coming out.
Sometimes, not even that, sometimes you've got to go into your bank and pay Alpha. And that is, as much as you're probably paying less than what you are to Uber, the fact that you've physically got to pay money out in a psychology mind thing, is the driver's like, oh, for fuck's sake, make sure I'm paid. If I haven't paid that, I get logged off, and next minute you try and work. But they need something more blanket effect,
more
streamlined for the drivers not to be not to do that. Do you know what I mean? Even if they had a cap at it, I don't know how to do it. But there's bigger brains out there that can work something out for that. I think it's just more for the part-time drivers as well, and even for the full-time drivers. That the full-time drivers probably don't pay anything to Alpha because they're getting the account work on a regular. But if I go out and do a shift or one shift on Alpha,
you have to pay them next week,
and then I don't work anything else. Then
you're right.
I'll have an outgoing to Alpha.
You'll always pay. That's a thing as well. Good point there. You'll always pay in the locals a lot less commission if it's capped. Like, I think Alpha's under 25 quid per week max. You can pay. So if you do a flipping 1,500 quid, bang, max. But if you do 750 on Uber, you might have already paid 750 quid in commission. They don't even see.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So Uber's taking so much more from a driver, but like you said, because you're not physically, Uber is just 750 quid this week, mate. You kind of forget about it.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you're on local, you don't know what you're going to get, do you? Whereas with Uber, you do. When it comes up, you know how much you're going to get, don't you? Whereas local, you don't, do you? Until you reach.
Yeah, but you're on a set rate. You're on a set mileage rate, so you can work it out if you wanted to. It's
but
not.
also,
It's not.
Some jobs
it's
haven't
not
got a
variable.
destination, have they? So,
But it's as
Yeah, but
directed.
you're not
alone,
asked about that, are you?
Oh, I hate
And
doing that.
I bet you 70-80% of the work I've got it on now because of Uber. I bet you 80% of the work have got a destination now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Alpha's prioritising because that's one of the. I think the main things that the local firms need to change to try and compete with Uber is a cancellation fee, which can only be really charged if they're prepaying on the bank card. I think the apps do that, don't they? Obviously, it happens on account work. Runners, definitely double booking, no shows. You need some type of. You turn up, you can be able to charge something. But the problem you've got is when they're still running cash, you can't do none of that. Do you know what I mean? But if they literally, I know it's probably a risk, but imagine if Alpha went full blown app only. Because their app's brilliant, by the way. Their app's brilliant, but you still got people just phoning up and just booking cash and paying cash, which a lot of drivers prefer. But imagine if Alpha went full app based, as an example, charged them waiting time, you know what I mean, cancellation fees and everything else. And I can definitely, you are right, it's going to sway. Because if Uber keeps going down the road they're going, the amount of drivers that message me and say they're going on the heavy goods, they're going on the buses, or they're going to the local taxis. So many people tell me that lately because Uber is just sucking everyone
Sucking it
dry.
all up, mate. They are. And the fact that it's going down rather than up, the way the climate is of everything else in the world has gone up.
Yeah.
Our private air, our shopping, just shopping alone. You know how much shopping now for a week of a family own cost compared to what it used to. Yeah. Uber seems to pay drivers less. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, as an example, I can do. I picked a lad, probably a young kid, must have been 18, 19. Tesco, £12 on an hour. £12 on an hour. I went out before between 9 and 11 and done 17 quid before me expenses. So that was so that was £8 per hour before paying for all my expenses. Do you know what I mean?
You would have had 20.
And
You
like
would have had 24. 20. You probably would have got to work, done 2 hours stacking shelves, and been more money, been better off.
Yeah,
exactly. It's
You
bad.
would have
Listen, talking about
been
Uber,
17 quid profit. You probably would have had about 20 quid, 17 quid profit after you got to work.
After your tax and stuff. Yeah, definitely. Do you know what I mean? It's mad, isn't it? But listen, after we're talking about Uber, Blackpool is finally. I don't know why people are kick off about this, but it reports on DM News. Blackpool has finally got an operator's license. Now, a lot of people have been kicking off about it, saying I can't believe that they got an operator's license, blah blah blah. But the thing is, before Blackpool got an operator's license, Uber was still in Blackpool anyway, but they were just all out of town drivers. So all the local Blackpool lads couldn't work flipping Uber Blackpool because they never had an operator's license. So now everyone was like, oh, Uber is now in Blackpool. They've been in Blackpool for flipping months. They've been striking and trying to fight them out of it, haven't they? Do you know what I mean? And now I think there's a positive that Blackpool's got an operator's license with Uber. As at least now the Blackpool lads cannot sit there and watch all the Wolverhampton drivers taking their work. At least they can jump in and get, driving. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I was just going to say to you guys. Do you reckon that's a good thing or a bad? I'll start with Mark. A good thing or a bad thing, mate? That Blackpool's now got an operator's license.
Well, for the local drivers, I can't see it being a problem. But what were them drivers doing originally? Anyway, were they going out of town working, or what? Or is it just going to be? Have they? I'm guessing people live in Blackpool have got to work for Uber. Yeah, can they work down? What areas can they work or not?
It was busy in Blackpool.
No.
Every time I've been to Blackpool, I've just put it on just to. So well, I was up there last week and I didn't bother putting on. Didn't need to.
So can you work in Uber then in Blackpool? Can you go up and get jobs in Blackpool?
Yeah.
Well,
every time I've put my app on in
Blackpool,
it's ping, 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 ping.
Yeah. Not so much now, Mick, because all the Wolverhamptons found out that it was busy.
I haven't done it for. This is just when, like I say, it's very rare to go to Blackpool, but when I have been in Blackpool and put my app on, And this, probably the last time was probably over a year ago, maybe even longer. But every time I've had my app on in Blackpool, it's always ping, 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 ping.
Yeah.
Mightn't be now, like.
Do you know what I mean? But like I said, we could work in Uber in Blackpool, but at Blackpool Ubers couldn't because obviously a Blackpool licensed private hire vehicle, they wouldn't have an Uber license, an Uber operator license, so they couldn't apply for Uber.
I think
can't
it's
get my head around that. So if you lived in Blackpool, you couldn't work on Uber. Couldn't work
not on a
Uber.
Blackpool
If
plate,
you were
no.
with Blackpool private hire license count with Blackpool Council, you couldn't work on Uber full stop anywhere in the country.
So any taxi you could. Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
Because Blackpool Council never had an operator's license.
Yeah.
With Uber,
you can't allow those drivers to work.
So that's what I'm saying. Is the Blackpool taxi drivers, private hire drivers. So every Uber pickup were people out of town picking up them.
Yeah. And if you were licensed with Blackpool,
surely, and Blackpool people are kicking off now. Drivers are kicking off because Uber have got a what? No.
Yeah, no. To be honest, they were trying to fight to stop it from happening, which I never understood. Because if you're, I know why they were fighting. They're trying to stop Uber full stop. Because as soon as Uber gets in anyway, it's going to kill the trade for the local black cabs. Going to
say was it the local firms fighting it, or was it the local private hire drivers?
No, the local firms and the local hackneys.
Well, yeah, you can understand that then. You can understand that.
But
for a driver, you're thinking, oh, ching ching.
Now but it's the same thing in Liverpool, I'm making it. So just to put it to include Mark a bit, you got Liverpool and you got Manchester, haven't you? And then in between Liverpool and Manchester, you've got Warrington. Now Warrington denied Uber's operator license, right? So if you're a Warrington licensed private hire driver, you cannot work Uber full stop in Warrington or anywhere, right? But Uber is still popular in Warrington. Just Liverpool and Manchester drivers working. So the council goes, no, we're not having no Uber. Uber moves in anyway with out-of-town drivers. But then all the local Warrington private hire drivers are sat there with the local taxis, just sat there watching everyone work. Honestly,
right.
It's a mad rule.
Am I being thicky? Cannot. So Uber can go anywhere they want, within the UK, or in the world, can go anywhere, right? So, say if Sheffield refused, so the drivers couldn't use Uber, couldn't work Uber. Could not the Sheffield Council? Oh no, it might be being thicky. Can't they just turn around and say you're not coming in Uber and just block it up? There's no way of doing it.
No, it's the deregulation.
It's doing me head in. Things like that.
Yeah, to put it into perspective, what Uber could do. Just say there's all regions now. Uber created those regions, right? Just say Uber got rid of the regions, right? Uber could come into the UK, get a Wolves operated license, right? And then work the whole country. But only Wolverhampton private hire drivers could sign up to Uber. No one else could. But they could work anywhere, like they do now. The only reason they can't work, like we can't work in Sheffield, is because Uber's restricted the regions. But some reason left us with the biggest one. Like, we've talked about regions before, haven't we? But yeah, it's a flipping mad rule. But at least now, in my opinion, Blackpool operates license is a positive. Because at least the Blackpool lads can actually have a bit instead of just watch all the out-of-town drivers coming
for the drivers, it's a little bit better for the drivers in Nanan. But for the industry, it's fucking shite when you think about it. Because everyone... Sorry. For the industry, it's crap, isn't it?
Yeah.
For the industry, because everyone's now just going, do what you want, Uber, and putting their hands up, and they're getting that big that they're just driving the market down.
It's all on the market, because we didn't talk about that but their prices for passengers hasn't really dropped. The thing that's dropped is what they're taking from the drivers is increased, sorry. Mm-hmm. So that's why what we're getting has dropped, not what they're charging the passengers have dropped. Do you know what I mean? So they're just trying to claw back as much, because don't forget they probably started off with like minus 100 million coming to the UK, getting all the ops license, launching, giving everyone 500 quid to sign up. They're probably millions, and now they're just trying to claw it all back. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But same again, talking about Uber, they're trying to take on properly the airport work. So what they've done now is, it started in Heathrow in the UK, but it's got to probably spread out to all airports, right? Get on this. So if you book an Uber Lux, which is like a very fancy Uber exec down in London, or probably now an exec XXL, right? They're now enforcing meet and greet. Not optional, by the way, enforcing it. So if you get an Uber Lux job at the airport at Heathrow, you've got to go in, park your car up and everything else, and go and meet the customer after half an hour or an hour after they landed. You know, like you do for like a proper fancy private job. But now Uber started meet and greet at the airport. Myself, personally, I'm not a big fan doing meet and greets on private jobs, never mind on Uber. Because like you say, sometimes they can be out in half an hour or 2 hours, can't they? Do you know what I mean? Because obviously, you're doing a bit more private work at the moment than me. And it's obviously sped up a bit now, and since the summer holidays.
But we
Is it getting out?
charge tenner for it, for the service. It doesn't come as standard for us. Because of the airport waits. If they could seamlessly tell me that they're going to be out in an hour, would live with it. But they can be out in 20 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is where, well, it's very rare 20 minutes, but let's say they could be out in half an hour. So our drivers, if they've got it booked on a meet and greet, we charge a tenner for it on top of what we've already had. So they're getting like really, when you think about it, with the fee that they normally pay anyway, plus the tenner, they're getting close to 15 quid to do a meet and greet. Yeah. But if you go in at half an hour, 40 minutes after, say for Manchester, for instance, half an hour, 40 minutes after, you get your half an hour in there. 90% of your time, an hour and 10 minutes, they're out. It's only something.
Rare cases.
It's only the rare cases like a lost bag, or they've been sat on the runway for so long, or sat waiting for the gate. The rare cases where they take over the 90 minutes. Do you know what I mean? And if that is the case on a meet and greet, you're still covered because of that extra tenner. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, true. Does your company that you work for, Mark, did they ever do like?
No, they've stopped doing the meet and greets now.
Well, they don't even offer it as a service no more.
I don't believe so. I've never had one. I think it's down to time consuming. About you just don't know, especially in Manchester. You just don't know. It's like I had a job yesterday. I sent her a text when she landed. And she said, "Yeah, we're still on plane," and that was something like 1:15, 1:30. She said, "I'm coming out now," and I'm like, "What?" I was still eating my food. It took her 15 minutes.
Yeah, and I've got one for you then.
Random.
Yeah.
Hey, I when I went to Dublin on a Sunday night, so I was trying to figure out some time so I can go again. We didn't have no luggage, just literally just our clothes just went for the day. So what happens is, how fast, I just want a time limit off you, how fast do you reckon I walked off the plane, right? And I was outside the airport by time-wise. I didn't have no luggage. Time-wise, off the plane, outside the airport, right through the lot. How long do you reckon, time-wise?
I'm saying 15
On a Ryanair with no luggage. Where was you, in Manchester or Liverpool?
Liverpool.
15 minutes.
6.
6 minutes?
6 minutes. I absolutely didn't stop walking. There's no...
I'll be honest though, sometimes I do think, right, shoot me down if you want, sometimes I do think it's down to passengers as well.
Do you reckon they're stopping for a coffee maybe and stuff like that, or a wee poo?
No, little things like that, yeah, but I just think they're dragging the feet a little bit. Because I know I've took taxi drivers, to the airport before, and I've picked them up from airports, and they're out like that. But
yeah, because they're just used to not doing being airports.
Because the mentality is, I've got a lad waiting out there. I know what it. You know the score. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I get you. Yeah, I get you.
So they're like, "Come on, let's go." Where the others are just coming off holiday, time in the world, nothing to worry about.
Do you know what? When I stood up on the plane,
holiday, so fair enough. Do you know what I mean? But I still think. I think some of it can be down to passengers just taking the time. And
also passengers, when they're using special assistance, that takes them a while and all, doesn't it? They have to sit
they sit and wait on the plane for the last day, the last to come off, aren't they?
Yeah.
I always know when I've took someone with a wheelchair that they're going to be an hour or more.
Yeah, unless it's downhill, innit? But yeah, what you call it? But what's called yeah, but you are right though, because when I was like stood up off the plane like that. When you get stood in the aisle of the plane, you just stood there like that, eager to get off. And as we were all shuffling off like that, there's people sat where I was sat, still sat on the plane, and they literally just sat there till everyone was off the plane, and then they just got up and walked off. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, a bit la-di-da. But what I didn't know is I never went through passport control,
You
which I
don't
thought was
have
flipping
to.
weird.
You don't
Yeah, but
for Ireland.
before Dublin, yeah, but what?
For Ireland, you don't have to.
We had to going out.
Yeah, that's Liverpool side, but because of you don't
Oh,
normally have to.
wait there. When we got to Dublin, I don't think we had to. When we got to Dublin, oh, it's like you only have to do it once, don't you?
It's a one check thing, yeah, but you can also bypass that by doing it online as well. So you can check your passport,
Yeah,
your passport and things. Because I know the lads that come in because we do a lot for the Irish,
footy.
for the footy, and they don't have to, and they're getting there 40 minutes before the flight because they know that they've got no luggage, no thingies. Boom, straight through. Do you know what I mean? 40 minutes an hour before the flight, and they don't have no queues. They're just straight on the plane. It's like jumping on a bus to them.
Yeah, I done the same. I was thrown up in Dublin airport and I had to sleep before the flight. That bad. Like 12 Guinness. It's in the worst state of my life, I'm telling you. So bad.
Christmas came
Honestly.
early for you, didn't it?
Oh, so bad, mate. Honestly, it took me about 2 days. I still feel a bit tender now.
Oof, that one
Honestly.
always said that.
Why would you say?
The Templar Bar. Christmas come early for you, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, mate, that was a mad bar, that. Have you seen that, Mark? The bar's got year-round Christmas decorations.
Now, and I've
In
never been
Dublin?
to Dublin. I'd love to do it. But I've never been.
Go for the day. Go for the day. It's actually doable. I left.
Yeah, but it's a bit far for me, though, isn't it? It's
I
like an hour
don't
and
know.
a
Have
half.
you got any
from
local
Manchester?
airports that you can fly?
Now, the nearest one's East Midlands or Manchester.
Oh yeah, you haven't really got a dead local one, have you?
We've got one. We've got Doncaster, but that's reopening soon. So
Maybe
that's
from
only 20
Doncaster then.
yeah. I'll look into it. I said to the wife
I
the
wouldn't
other day,
trust
she
myself.
couldn't get over. Honestly, I told her that you had gone to Dublin. She went, "Oh, I've gone for the night." Like, well, I went, "Now they've gone for the day," and she was like, looked at me and she thought, as I was like spitting in her face because she could not understand. She was like, "What time did he leave?" And I went, "I don't know. When the bar's open. I don't know." And then he's back tonight, and she's like, "Why were they doing that
Hey.
for?" Because it's their anniversary and all that malarkey. And I goes, "It's for the day though. It's a bit of a long day." He goes, "No, it's probably just like getting a taxi into town."
Honestly, I left my house at 7 a.m. I was in Dublin for 10 past 10. Honestly, and I had to be travelling to the airport, flying and travelling. You know what I mean?
I would. Yeah,
So
but the
quick.
thing is, I wouldn't trust myself. I'll probably get kicked off that flight on the way home.
I would.
Oh, mate, honestly, right? I nearly
before you miss your flight.
spewed in a taxi on the way. And then he spewed in a taxi on the way to the airport, and obviously because I'm a taxi driver, I had all my will to keep it in. As soon as we got in the airport, I flipping ran to the bog, spewed up everywhere, right? Then I fell asleep, sleep in the lobby for about an hour, and then I woke up like that, like proper rough. But because I had done all that, I was kind of soberish for the flight then. But yeah, I was knackered. It was a long day at about 12, 13 Guinnesses. Brilliant though. But listen, talking about flooded. My that toilet was flooded with me sick. But talking about flooded, a new article went live on DM News, right? Wolverhampton has now obviously been flooding the private eye industry. I know it's a sketchy subject. Everyone goes, I always hate Wolverhampton. I don't. I just hate what the council have done. The drivers, you do what you need to do. No, nothing against the drivers. But figures have been reported now. Get on this. So from January 2024, I think, to June
2020
or somewhere like that, mid 2024 as well. You know, like the first 6 months, 6 months of the year.
Just doing this year.
Yeah. Right. Just this year, right? Wolverhampton has done nearly 9,000 new private hire badges, right? In the first 4 months of the year, right? And then compared to the rest of the whole of the East Midlands, yeah, is 90% more than the rest of the East Midlands. So if you look at East Midlands map, right, Wolverhampton has provided 90% private hire badges out of that area, that region, for the whole of the UK, do you know what I mean? Not just that region. So as an example, in the same time frame Birmingham Council is 5 times larger than Wolverhampton, and if at the top of my head, it was around 300. So Birmingham brought out 300 new private hire badges in the first 4 months. Wolverhampton 9,000. And then people go, "Oh, what's the
Jesus
issue? Why is
Christ.
the industry overrun and why is it dead and all that jazz?" And you just look at those figures, don't you? Really bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got no words for that.
But check him out, checking it's bad, lad. You're happy?
I think it's great news. To be fair, more competition for every other driver. Love it.
Did you see the other one though as well, Matty? With the I don't know what months they were, but 2024, I think there was 3,000 suspensions and revocations of Wolverhampton.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I haven't seen that. That's a lot, isn't it?
that was in taxi points as well.
Do you reckon they're cracking down a lot on them then, or is it just because there's so many of those drivers that they're in the news all the time?
Definitely into. I was only reading it today because I've seen someone
Might
post
be on
it.
taxi points.
2 days ago, they put it in Monday. So, yeah, you'll probably pick that up on the podcast.
What they for anyway? State of the car or what? And is it other councils reporting them? Because that's come out, isn't it? Councils reporting them like we did a few weeks back.
Yeah. But the only issue...
In 2024, nearly so just over 2,000 suspended and just under $1,000 revoked.
Wow. So they brought in, just to clarify, they brought in 8,000 and he lost 2,000 in flipping bad drivers.
Yeah, but only over 2,000's only suspended, so...
Oh, yeah.
So they're
but
just
still,
suspensions.
that could
be 2 day. Yeah, it is bad. Don't get me wrong, but that could be 2 day suspensions and then they're back on the road. We don't know how many of them have actually.
Yeah.
What do you know what I mean?
See, the issue we've got is a lot of people say, "Oh, Wolverhampton in the news all the time," and I don't know if it's because they're all bad drivers, because I know they're not. I know Scousers that have got Wolverhampton and all that. Like, not all bad drivers, but I think it's just the probability of there's so many private hire drivers. Then when it is a bad thing in the news, it's normally one of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it could be because obviously the testing requirements are a lot easier or a lot relaxed than other councils, maybe. Who knows? But every time I hear something about the news, it's always Wolverhampton, innit? Do you know what I mean? But the fact that they have made 9,000 new private hire drivers in the first 4 months of this year, compared to Birmingham, who's done nearly 300, and Birmingham's 5 times larger.
This is what you said, weren't it, Marty?
That 20? If they carried out through the years, that's what's that? 9, 8, 27,000 in a year then.
In 1 year, mate. So that's what I've said in the past. Is where when in the past when what?
What's this? Watch. I'll throw a figure at you now, right?
Go ahead.
So that was in 2024, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not looking. So the population of Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
Don't leave us in suspense.
I think he's reading this.
All right.
The population, so it's 263,000.
Really? Yeah.
What?
So 10% of their population in private hire drivers in 1 year.
No, that would be 26,000, wouldn't it? 10%.
Yeah.
So it's like 5.
Yeah, I'm just reading. Hey, I'm just reading this, mate.
4%.
On DM News, right? Get on this, lad. So, number of private hire licenses from January to end of May, right? So about 5 months, right? 8,563 in Wolverhampton. And then second to that, this is just in West Midlands, second to that is Birmingham at 277. But Birmingham's 5 times larger than Wolverhampton. And then people go, what's the issue with the private hire industry and why is it overrun with drivers? It's facts like that you read, isn't it? It's got to be, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, this is what you said. If you didn't have a council pumping that much into the industry, it'd be a lot declined, wouldn't it? There'd be a lot more work to go around.
Yeah, because when people leave,
if Birmingham's only doing 300,
yeah,
which is 5 times bigger than Wolverhampton Council,
yeah,
what's Liverpool done? Do you know what I mean?
not too sure of the figures, but that's what you're saying. But as an example, just say you live and work in Birmingham, right? And 300 drivers, new drivers in 5 months went into that city, right? Maybe 300 left that month in 5 months,
Yeah,
right? So the same amount of drivers is in that city. So the balance is quite balanced.
it's all
Do you know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah.
But when you've got 300 leaving and 300 new drivers in Birmingham coming in, and then 9,000 coming into Wolverhampton, yes, they're going all over the country. Do you know what I mean? There's not going to be nearly 10,000 drivers leaving in 5 months. So the balance is just up in the air. Do you know what I mean? It is. It's just
Unbelievable.
flipping stupid, mate. I just don't get how they're going to proceed with it, to be honest. I don't know what's going to go on with the future. I just don't even know how they're going to sort it.
This is the
They
thing.
just-
How
just
do you
need
fix
to
it?
stop doing it.
What do you say, Mark?
They won't. Well, they
Just
won't
need-
though, will they?
Yeah, well, that's what the way it's going. They need to do something because
The only
it's just
the
gonna
only
be-
way they'll stop that is when it comes from government, and
and
government
I
don't
think
seem
I
to
don't think it ever will. Will
don't
it?
seem to care. Really?
They're not bothered.
Because if they wanted to do something, the government, they would have done it by now.
Done it by now. Yeah.
It's been brought up in Parliament, and it seems to have just been brushed under the carpet, doesn't it?
Andy Bourbon said, didn't he? Is Andy Bourbon? Andy Bourbon? Whatever his name.
Burnham.
Oh, Burn-In. Oh, but Andy
It just
Bourbon. So Andy
it
Bourbon
need
said that when Labour come into power, he's stopping the out-of-town drivers. I know it's only been a couple of months, but let's see where that goes then, because he did say in Manchester that's happened, didn't he?
that could be a possibility. It could still happen. It's not going to happen overnight. We all know, especially when the government's involved, it's not going to happen overnight. But I don't know. I think it's going to need a little bit more bigger noise banging on the on number 10, like, before it happens.
I know.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Hey, talking about flipping that. Obviously, I don't know if you saw it, Mark. You might saw it on the news, but we were like kind of involved because obviously it was causing mayhem. Do you know the M6 via viaduct, Mark? Do you know the big where the bridge that goes over the viaduct on the M6? It connects the M62 and the M56. A wagon was in the slow lane, went across all 3 lanes. I went straight off the viaduct in between
Oh yeah.
and landed.
Yeah.
Did you see the video? Yeah, it's
I
here.
was seeing
And he
that.
landed in the lake, right? But unbelievably, he flipping survived somehow. And what people are saying was, I think the weight of his wagon kind of tilted his front cabin up as he come off. So he kind of like, you know what I mean, went back like that. And like, he kind of broke his fall a little bit, which I thought was flipping unbelievable because everyone was worried. Everyone was worried about obviously him dying and stuff like that. But the weather at the moment, Mark, I'm definitely coming to you because you're getting hit with it massively, is how bad is the weather lately? Like, it's dangerously bad though, isn't it?
Well, we did that challenge today, and it honestly, weather and traffic always go together, doesn't it? And
Yeah.
with Sheffield, if people know Sheffield, it's built on 7 hills. You're either going up a hill or you're going down a hill. If you're going down a hill and you're at the bottom and it's raining, it's been raining for like 2 days, you know you're going to be going through a stream or a river. And that's what I was doing this morning. It's shocking. It's mental.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
You go over that snake pass, don't you? That's flooded all the time, innit?
Yeah. I think Winnett's now, which is through Castleton, I think that's shut now. But I don't know if that's weather related or what. But one of the lads in another chat that I do from the airport, he tried going over yet to do like a 30-mile turnaround.
80-mile turnaround.
Yeah,
No.
20 mile.
That's heavy, that.
Yep.
What were you going to say, Mick?
Just saying, the weather this morning was terrible on the motorway, and Manchester was built on hills. But yeah, you could hardly see on the motorway with spray this morning.
Where's that going to Manchester, was it?
Yeah.
Honestly, like I said,
Yeah, it
like
was
you got that
awful.
big hurricane now as well, haven't you, in America? The world's
Yeah.
gone flip. I have seen enough films to say that global warming is a lot here quicker than the saying, mate. I've seen Day After Tomorrow, mate.
Don't
You know what I mean?
piss off
And
Mother Nature, mate. Tell you. powerful
Telling you.
thing in the world, that Mother Nature.
I know. It's
It's
crazy.
literally rained for 18 months, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been out of control, mate.
June 2023 were lovely, red hot. And then first week in July, red hot. Because I go over Woodhead and there's a load of reservoirs. And they were bone dry. Now they're flipping bursting.
Yeah. I put our kids' pool out during the summer holidays. Once they've been in it. Once. The rest of the time, it's either been raining or cold or... Do you know what I mean?
Say, did you fill it for a tap or did you just let it rain?
Telling you, mate, you might as well, innit? But listen, boys, it is quarter. We've got the school runs and everything else to get going. So is everyone happy with this week's podcast? You happy, mate? You happy, Mark?
Yeah, all good. Yeah,
Legend. Listen, thanks again, you two legends. Much appreciated. And yeah, everyone watching and listening, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, following all the channels and everything else. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. You gang of legends. See you soon. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.